really sort of disheartened at the way watches are sold. At least, well, let's put it this way. I live in New York City. I live in one of the biggest cities on earth, the city that prides itself on having anything you could possibly want, and usually at all hours of the day and night. So you would think, easy to find a watch? No, not easy. Okay, well, yeah, easy to find a watch if either, number one, you want to stroll into a boutique and buy a brand new one at full economic tilt. Okay, number two, you want to go and try and find a genuine, especially if it happens to be a Rolex, a genuine used one at a decent price. I have footage from my first outing regarding this, and it's interesting. So I'll let the footage sort of speak for itself. I'm going to annotate with some written little things while the footage is going on, and then I'll comment after it's all done. But this is my first adventure. It was at a jeweler's in Queens. They happen to be Rolex and Tudor dealers, but again, I'm looking for a used one. So here it goes. They have to come and get me. Hello. How are you? Good. I'm looking for a used watch. Do you have any used Rolexes?
We have some used Rolexes, yes. Any reason you're looking for a used one?
Well, because I don't have 10,000 for a new one.
Well, you can buy this thousand, you know.
A no-date sub, I know. I've been checking out prices and things like that. I'm looking specifically for a Datejust, either a 16030, 16220, 16233, 16234.
Well, we'll show what will happen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Tudor made by Rolex.
Yeah.
Instead the used one, why you don't buy the brand new ones? They start from $2,500 and go up to $6,000.
Okay, so for instance, a Tudor, you know, very much like a Datejust, a plain one there.
This one even date day, you see, like a president, $2,650.
And the movement is a Rolex movement?
No, but under the Rolex.
What movement is it?
ITA.
Okay.
High
The same as in my Raymond Weil.
Not the same, the higher quality.
Okay. It's nice. Again, I'm looking specifically for a Rolex.
Okay, here you go. All the Rolex.
Okay, great. Oh, I see you have, okay. You have a nice little collection here.
Yeah, they're all used ones.
So this is a Coke GMT Grand
Yes.
Master 2,
Yes.
and
This one is date. And they just have stainless steel with a diamond dial.
okay. I'm not looking for a diamond dial. I'm looking for a stick dial. So something like this. This looks like it's a 16233.
This one date.
A date just, right?
Not a date just. This one is date. That
Oh.
is smaller in the size.
A little bit smaller. Okay. What is that? A 33 millimeter?
34.
A 34 millimeter. So what would be the price of that?
This one? This one is $6,400.
Okay. And the GMT?
6700.
67. And this model is, this looks like
Explorer 1, the new version. That's the.
This is the bit larger one, right?
Yeah, practically brand new watch, 2013, $6,000.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, although I'm really not interested in the diamond dial, what would be the date just there?
This one is 6008.
68. Okay. I mean, they're nice. Unfortunately, most of them are out of my budget. I pretty much have a cap of about 5,000. And again, I was looking actually for either a sub, even a no date sub, in that range, or any one of the date justs, or a GMT Master 2. Although I realize that that's a little bit more.
Well, that's what we have at the moment.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, would it be? I'm interested in a watch, and I'm a chauffeur, and I'm here in Queens all the time. So if I were to leave you my phone number,
well, you know, that's even better if you walk in, because you know that used watches.
Yeah.
We may have it tomorrow. We may have it in another 10 years.
And I could walk in 5 or 10 times and not see it.
Yeah.
So. All right. I have my feelers out with a few people, so if
let's check time by time, you know.
So you're not interested in taking my number then? Okay.
Well, you know that I'm gonna keep this number, but you know that.
All right. You're being honest with me, which is cool.
I can tell you know when I'm gonna have the watch.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. I thank you for your time.
You can take business card.
I will. In fact, I was referred to Greg.
Greg is not in.
Okay.
He's going to be on Mondays.
All right, maybe I should take Greg's card then, okay?
Okay, that's the same.
Sure.
Okay.
You don't by any chance have the
No, please. I'm going to wait. Okay, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm going to wait for the okay. Yeah.
The Rolex sub with the green bezel.
It's no longer making. It's discontinued.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm trying to keep up on my watches here, but you have one here in the case.
That's not a green bezel. The green bezel, green dial. That's a new version.
Perfect.
Right.
It's just a green bezel no longer exists. It's no longer making.
So this watch isn't available?
9,500.
Oh, it is available. Okay.
This one, yes, but
all right.
What you asked me about a green bezel,
right?
That's a different that used to make.
No, I understand. I'm trying to figure out my bezels and my models and everything, and this particular watch is one of the watches that I'm, sort of interested in.
Regular Submarine 8,550. This one 9,000.
Yeah. What about just a plain no date sub?
7,500.
7,500. Okay. I mean, again, my budget is 5, and if I don't have the money, I just don't have it. So I was hoping for something used. Anyway, okay. I will check back. Okay, thank you. Okay. Have a great day.
have to get buzzed out. Nope, doesn't want to let me out. There we go. Oh, now I'm stuck here. There we go. Interesting. Okay, John the limo guy here, and this thing is still recording, so I guess I'm going to stick with this for at least a little bit. First impressions, the gentleman who took care of me, let's see if there's a name on this. There is no name on this. Okay, he definitely wanted to, I don't know, I guess compartmentalize me into either buying a watch. In other words, you know, he sort of a typical New York salesman. I was upfront with him about how much money I had to spend, what my budget was. He immediately threw me over to the tutors, and I guess I wanted to make a point that although I didn't come out, I don't think I came off as trying to be an expert. I did want to let him know that I knew a little something about watches, and I wore my Raymond Weil, which has an ETA movement as well, although he said mine wasn't as good as his, so the tutor. Who knows, that could be. Again, I don't know. All I know is my experience. To rate the experience, I think the salesman was, I have to give him out of 10 a 3. And I'll tell you why I'm giving him such a low mark. He immediately took the road that, what will it take for me to make a sale with this guy? He wasn't interested in what I was interested in. He wasn't interested in taking my number or anything like that, letting me know if a watch comes in. Here's a guy, he's a jeweler in New York City, and he could get a watch in tomorrow. He said he could get a watch in tomorrow. Am I going to stop here on a daily basis? Of course not. So I won't know when the watches come in. I assume that they come in and go out very quickly. Also, I noticed that I got prices of several models of which I know a little bit about their pricing, and everything was on the high side. So I've been able to extrapolate from my experiences here that at least the watches that I saw seemed to be priced a little bit high, and what can I say? Anyway, I'd be interested certainly in Paul's feedback, and even comments from all of the Paul Pluta Prestige fans. Anyway, this is John out. I tried to make an interesting video, and I will keep them coming. Okay, John out from Queens, New York.
Yeah, interesting, huh? You like the way the guy immediately, well, first of all, I thought that I was being very, very courteous and respectful by, number one, letting him know exactly what I was interested in, and not trying to beat around the bush and look at all sorts of different things. He immediately tried to steer me to a tutor. when I clearly wanted a used Rolex. He asked me why used. I said, well, I can't afford a new one. And he said, well, you know, why don't you get a Tudor? They are Rolex or Rolex quality or made by Rolex. And then, do you like the way when I asked him if it had a Rolex movement, he said no, ETA. And I said, oh, just like my Raymond Weil, which I happen to be wearing on my wrist. He immediately says, oh, they're not as the Raymond Weil is not as good and pure. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'm not an expert about that, but what? The Raymond Weil movement is $200, and the Rolex for Tudor is $250. I mean, come on. I think that ETA, probably the difference between both movements is, in the grand scheme of things, negligible. Okay, and even if it's $200 more, that's $200, my friends. When we're talking about spending $5,000. Here's another thing I didn't like. He did have a decent selection of used watches. I saw a nice GMT there. I saw a Rolex Datejust. It had factory diamonds, and the whole watch was just a little too foo-foo for me. I'm not a factory diamonds kind of person. He also had a date, not a Datejust, a date. Manual wind, 34 millimeters. I don't care if it's 14 karat gold or 18 karat gold. It's $6,000 freaking dollars. I'm starting to sound like Seinfeld. It's $6,000, George. Anyway, I don't know what to make of all this. It's this is really it's tough. I mean, what can I say? It's tough. You go online and you decide to look at YouTube, and they have watches that seem to be too good to be true. And I gotta tell you, there are a bunch of charlatans out there. There are a bunch of people that have absolutely no qualms. I'm seriously thinking, though, because my next stop is 47th Street, the Diamond District, and I know I'm going to get a lot of these guys who are going to try. They try and steer you to what they want to sell you. And believe me, though, I mean, I'm a New Yorker, and I've dealt with this all my life. It was especially true when I used to buy a lot of photographic equipment at B&H in Adorama. You know, the salesman would size you up and then like play this sick little 20 question game with you, and try and cubbyhole you into either selling you something new, knowing how much you could spend, or selling you a piece of shit that's used and that they want to get rid of. Okay, they know what merchandise they want to move. So and believe you, they're not looking out after you and your best interest. And I think that's one thing that I've learned from Archie, especially when it comes to luxury watches. Anyway, I'm just sort of rambling in and out of stuff and going on and on and on, and we're at 41 minutes, so I think I'm going to close it right now. This is John the Limo Guy, signing off.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece. We adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. and 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.